Mics are hot, and we are going live with me and you. There we are. Hello, everybody. Can chat hear us? First time in a couple weeks with both of our mics all set up and everything else again.
Indeed.
Took a minute because YouTube is interesting to go live on. Huh. That noise was my camera making noises, so I had to go look and make sure that it was still being a camera over there. How is it going, chat? Who is here? Let's see if we have viewers. We do. It's a miracle. I don't think Mac has actually tried to say anything yet. Let's see if he gets the mic set up.
Yeah, I can move the mic a little bit. Maybe that'll also help.
It's been a couple weeks. We got a lot of the kinks worked out last night. As usual, do we? I mean, I can boost Mac a little more. I'm now actually doing boosting here instead of just setting him at 100. Hello. Thanks for the sub. Yes, everyone resub, all the fun stuff. Hit the primes, whatever. All of it. Appreciated. It has been 2.5 solid weeks since we did one of these. And so we're gonna try and get this going back again. I'm not all the way back. I still have 3 more days on my medication, on my antibiotics, all that fun stuff. But I'm feeling a lot better. Definitely not 100%. I can still feel the problem, but where it felt like it was this big before, it now feels like it's that big. So we will see how that works. I am unsure as to why this is happening, and I doubt with this mic being so good, you all could hear it. But my camera is actually just Samsung Ultra S21 right now, and it is not a phone number that's ever been published. It got a SIM card from a friend of mine that's just there so I can do like software updates and all kinds of other stuff if I go out with it. I've never made a phone call with it, never given this phone number to anyone. It's making all kinds of noises, like it's getting text messages and other notifications and shit right now. I have no idea what that is, but it's also facing the other way so the cameras can face me. So I also can't see the screen. So if I look up every now and then, it's because it keeps distracting me making noises. I'm going to have to turn all that shit off after stream. This is the first time it's ever done that. The phone number's probably ended up in some spam database and it's getting, hit by all those, do you want funding and, your warranty shit. Mm-hmm. Highly possible, but I mean, this has been sitting here now for 2.5 months and never done this. So, yeah, who knows? I'm still waiting on my replacement camera for it. I had one of those, Matthew. When I lived in Kansas City, I got someone else's phone number and I just started talking to the person because it turned out to be like the person's mom. And they hadn't heard from the person in weeks and were wondering what was going on. They just hadn't told their mom they had changed their number. And we ended up talking for like 2 months on and off. She would just message me to see how I was doing, like in this motherly way. It was very odd because I've never really had that kind of a relationship with my parents. So it was just a very strange thing to suddenly have someone acting all motherly at me. Good times. So a lot has happened in the last few weeks, obviously. There are a million things to go over. I'm sure chat has all kinds of things once we get through all of... Whoa. Thanks for that. Suddenly there's a hype train starting. What? How do you get a hype train with 9 viewers? That's insane. Thanks for the 5 gifted. Now, the question is, since I don't have my second screen up here anymore, I want to ask... did you guys get a notification for that? Did the thing pop up, or is Stream Elements still being a jackass where it randomly works and randomly doesn't? Because it looks like you didn't, because I just refreshed Stream Elements again and they finally showed up. Let's find out. Can I click the button? I clicked the button and it does not look like anything else has happened. Huh. Stream Elements just I don't know how this works for other people, but this is what it's been doing to me. We might have to move over to, one of the others. I don't want to switch to slobs or anything else, but you can use the other system without going to their, build. I just wish Stream Elements wasn't so random for me. All right, everyone. So why don't we get into some of the fun stuff from today and from, I guess the last 2 weeks. I am going to switch this over to what I believe is the correct screen. Yay! I'm figuring it all out again. It is interesting because when I say that, I'm half joking, but like my long COVID and the brain fog and shit is really that strong. Some of the stuff I'm like, how did I set that up again? And it's only been like 2.5, 3 weeks. I'm fighting through it. I am fighting through it, but like that feels so weird because like 2-3 years ago, that would not have been the case. So it's interesting learning how this all works and, how it feels up here and, what I've got going on. Okay, let's just start with the latest, which, just happened in the last couple hours. Odysseus, nicknamed Odie, which I just love, has landed on the moon. It is a commercial project with NASA in partnership to put a lander back on the moon because now we are in a space race with China to get a base up on the moon because they look to be way ahead of us on that. And the news out of NASA is if we let them get there first, treaties be damned, they won't honor any of them, and it'll be hard for us to get a foothold. And yeah, the moon is going to get fiber internet before half the people in chat. So, we'll just have to see how that works out. But, at first, if you look through, I was following along a little. The first news was it landed, but communications aren't working. Oh, shit. Well, it's not dead yet. Maybe? Okay, welcome to the moon. Thank God it actually worked, and we're totally good. And we are talking to the damn thing and getting information back about its mission. So, yay, right? So, it's another one of those where, like, you get that 5 minutes of, like, that was many millions of dollars and years down the drain. Great. All we know is that we successfully landed. And the landing gear worked. But turns out, comms were down because of AT&T. We'll talk about that one. I do not buy the story AT&T is putting out at all. But yeah, so Odysseus lands, and I want to show this because I just find it so interesting. How big is that on stream? Let's do a little of this. Do you guys notice the logo right here on the side of it? That's Columbia, and that is yes, it's the people who make the winter coats and have the Columbia stores where they sell you gloves and hats and coats and shit. They have one of the experimental things up on this moonlander, which is the insulation project, where they want to be the ones who end up providing the insulating materials for both the new spacesuits and the insulating materials for some of the actual space stations. And so on this lander with like 7 scientific studies going on it, one of them is Columbia testing their gear in space. Yeah. And I was talking to Mac earlier about it.
I think it's very funny that there's 4 logos. One of them is the U.S. flag. One of them NASA. One of them is the company that made the craft, or is it like made and running the craft. And the last one is Columbia.
And one's Columbia. Yeah, Intuitive Machines built this thing. So I was like, the first thing I thought of was the commercials for Columbia, where they always show the guy in some harsh climate wearing their gear. And they're going to, once we like have a base up and it's covered in Columbia shit, they're going to send him up there. They're going to pay for him to be up there. And that's just insane to me. That like, they're going to be one of the first ones to probably do a commercial up there for the Columbia gear because they need to show him in another harsh environment. Well, beat the moon. That's just crazy to me. I right when I saw the logo, I was like, what? And then you can read about it. It's down here. Like they actually talk about, the successful partnership and what things are going and all these scientific tests that are going. Most of the tests on it are around our landing materials, what the rockets do when they're trying to land with this type of specific force, how much dust they put up, what the interaction of that plume is with the devices on this. They're getting a lot of sensitive readings that'll be way more sensitive than what we have from over 50 years ago. This thing isn't going to move around or any of that type of stuff. But the idea is this will give us enough information that we can then send the next one up as another lander that's going to land and rove around and do all kinds of fun stuff. So I found this interesting that Columbia was the big name. It's even on the side of this. There's the flag. There's Intuitive Machines who built the thing, NASA, and Columbia, and they're everywhere. Yeah, how much money did Columbia give for this mission? That's so insane to me. I assume
they funded this specifically in return for advertising rights for the moon.
Right?
All the footage belongs to them for advertising purposes.
That one I don't know. I found that hilarious. We are getting to that point where the next lander that goes up there that actually drives around and has wheels on it is going to look like a NASCAR. Yeah. It's going to have 70 logos on it.
Including one for Firestone or something.
Really? Like Goodyear tires.
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell? So there are a million things going on right now. One is this. Vice.com is going away, and they're letting almost all of the journalists go. Motherboard is going away. It's gone. They say they are switching to a model in which they post their material to other platforms through platform partnerships. Exactly. So, a lot of the good has ended up at 404 anyways, but basically hundreds more people from Vice are gone. And sure, Vice had, an interesting start with some people who maybe also helped start the Proud Boys, kind of, setting it up. And also, sure, maybe Vice.com might have given us Tim Pool, but there was a lot of good journalism done throughout that. And something that people might not remember or notice is when you look at my profile, this image right here, my profile picture that I use everywhere, is actually a screen grab from an episode of Vice's Cyber War documentary series. Because I don't take good photos, but if I don't know it's a photograph and I'm just staring off and they've got a camera on me, I can find screen grabs that work well. So that's literally just a screen grab from the episode of Cyber War I was in. So my profile will always have something related to Vice on it. Because maybe in a couple of years I'll feel like I've aged enough that I should get a more relevant, close to my age picture, but that one's still more than close enough. So we're losing hundreds of journalists that are going to have to go find other work. Hopefully some of them land places that we like. And then we have this. This is one of the ones that I really want anyone watching to pay attention to. If you haven't seen it, Indiana's AG has put out something called Eyes on Education. And it's a way where you can go report any socialist indoctrination happening in schools by naming the teachers who are doing it. So it's McCarthy's Red Scare all over again. But what's interesting about the thing is you can just go to their website, that in chat, and you can go to submit to portal here. And as long as your address exists in Indiana, you're fine. And you can submit whatever you want. And I think they should have a lot more submissions than they have.
I'm just going to throw this out there, but the thing I've learned from listening to Republicans for the last 30 or so years is that socialism is when the government does things. And that means that every public school teacher in Indiana is a socialist. So, maybe that's some information they could work with.
Yeah, I grew up in Texas. My teachers were probably, fairly conservative compared to the average. And they never pushed any conservative ideology on me. I learned about all the stuff. This whole new thing, It sucks. But everyone should go fill that form out a few times. It's been spread around on Twitter and everywhere else, so hopefully it is getting enough of that. Yeah. I would have graduated from good old LD Bell in the DFW area had I graduated high school. I dropped out way before that. I went to a good old Bedford Junior High, though. It always amused me up here, the size of the schools and how people would talk about, like, the number of students per teacher. Like, my junior high school there was 3 times the size of the biggest high school I've seen in New England. And our classes were 50 students. So, like, I mean, just the order of magnitude of the size of shit down there. I think some of it's just them feeding into, like, the myth of everything's bigger down there, and so they just ran with it. But, like, man, was it huge. The football stadium for the junior high school, which was, like, 7th, 8th grade, like that range, was way larger than the big high school ones here. I mean, actually, it was bigger than some of the college ones here, and that was the junior high one. It's crazy down there. The schools down there are just it. Yeah, exactly. But there are a million other things to talk about. This one I found hilarious. All of the Sandy Hook families have voted to liquidate Alex Jones' property. So he owes them $1.5 billion, and they have unanimously supported liquidation on his ass, so all of his stuff starts getting taken from him. And I just think that is amazing because, yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I so want to grab some of his shit just to hold up his trophies. Like, I'm hoping someone goes to that thing who, like, puts a bunch of that shit up on eBay or something because it will be fucking hilarious. One of the things about my last couple of weeks of resting and not talking too terribly much is my throat is a lot more sore when I talk right now because it's not kind of trained up to the speaking for hours a day that it was doing. Just weeks of basically lying on the sofa watching TV and doing nothing. So that's why I'm drinking so much damn water. Not that I need a better reason, but, like, that's why you see me continuing to take drinks. A liquidation sale on Trump's stuff, I mean, like, I don't know, it's weird to say this, but I think Alex Jones, if you go to his house, probably has some pretty standard nice stuff. Like the stuff that a rich grifter would normally have, whereas if you go to, like, Trump's shit, he's got, like, the gold toilet. Like, the crazy shit. I don't think there's anything that I would want out of his stuff, even as a trophy. It's all just so gaudy.
I mean, what you do is you go there and get the, boxes of random crap because that's where the classified documents are stuffed in.
True. If they do any of that type stuff, you're going to come up with some interesting things. So, yeah, the liquidation sale is going to be hilarious. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
Ha ha. Deserves every bit of it.
And more.
So, something that a lot of people haven't really been paying attention to is Cop City isn't just in Atlanta. Cop City, there are 69 of these being built. Atlanta is just the one that's been getting, all the coverage, that's been getting the mass arrests. But there are 69 Cop Cities being built. And this little website right here gets us an interactive map of them all and takes you to an event map of things that can be done, a volunteer cycle, which is great because this teaches you about, like, burnout and all that other type stuff. There's a spreadsheet with a list of them all, which is just great, and links to things like groups working against it. Yeah, that is a bit interesting, isn't it? They're obviously scared of the Russians coming in through Alaska. That's my assumption. Yeah, but
Well,
I
there's
just
just
think,
a whole lot of police departments full of Nazis in Washington.
yeah, I just think that people should literally be paying attention more to than just the cop city we've all been hearing about. There are 69 of these being built, and not because that's a funny number. That's just actually how many are being built. So find one in your local area and go yell at it. Whew. Another hilarious one. Some of these I just have up here because I want to laugh at them with you. Mm-hmm. Dominion is going to spank another one. NewsMax definitely did not want them to get these texts.
No.
This is going to be hilarious.
Yeah, it's going to be Fox News texts all over again.
Oh, yeah, totally. I can't believe I'm saying this. Why do they have me saying this when everyone knows it's not true? You know,
yeah,
Tucker's texts.
They're making us go out there and look like idiots.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait till some of these leak.
The question is, do they refer to their viewers as, what was it, cousin fucking terrorists?
Yeah. Seriously. Is there anything going on? Well, now, so part of the delay getting started, going live on YouTube, which I'm trying to build up and everything, but obviously has no viewers or anything right now. But like it wasn't showing the live tab or the live thing on my profile. And I couldn't figure out why because I had it set to do so. But it turns out one of the settings, which says the privacy of the VOD afterward, where you set the VOD to be unlisted because that VOD isn't ready to go. You need to, use it, edit it a little, change it up a little, and then get it over to the VOD channel where it goes. If you have the VOD set to be unlisted after the video's done, then your whole stream is unlisted and doesn't show up for anyone. So you have to leave it as public. The VOD will appear on the channel for a few seconds after I'm done being live, and then I have to go delete the damn VOD. And that's the only way to get this to work right, because YouTube still don't have their shit sorted correctly. Ugh. And I would not have figured that out if I hadn't seen Ludwig actually have to go delete it, and just yell about it on his stream at one point. But it came back to me earlier, wait, I saw someone have to deal with this. What was he doing? Ugh. Yeah, just good times. I want to see what's in the texts. That would be amazing.
Yes, I definitely want to see that.
So Tiffany Haddish, in her wonderful downward spiral of multiple DUIs and everything else over the last year, has decided that another Hollywood personality like Michael Rappaport needs to go over to Israel and walk around and see for herself what's actually going on. She did not deny the genocide. She just said she didn't believe any of what she was hearing and that she needed to go see for herself. Now, going over there and landing in Israel, do you think they're going to let her see the worst of it, or are they going to tour her around to all the stuff they want her to see?
I'm sure they'll let her travel around on her own, escorted, to find for herself what the truth is and not be getting the same degree of factual honesty as when people visit North Korea.
Yeah. I think she's another useful idiot. And they're going to use her like Michael, who has even changed his damn profile photo. Look at that thing. If you guys haven't been paying attention to his shit, it is nonstop him in Israel talking about everything, doing the IDF's work for them, talking about how the 7th was the worst and everything that's happening is deserved. Talking about the Zionist view now. He has just gone full IDF propagandist. He unfollowed me yesterday. He'd been following me for a decade. We'd actually interacted a lot in the past. We'd gotten along quite well. But I started calling him out on his shit, and boom, unfollowed, and I can't DM anymore. I don't think he liked the DMs I sent him last week. I don't know. I don't leak DMs, though, so that's just a personal thing with me, so I'm not going to show them, but I was not nice. Oh. Whew. We'll have longer segments when we get to some of the bigger stuff at the end here, but obviously no one needs to make any more jokes about the shoes because this one won the game. I mean, as Wu-Tang is for children has told us. Tried hooping in these, but all I could do was draw charges. I mean, that just wins. Like, we're done here. Shut it down. It's amazing. I've been thinking a lot about it, and like I said last night, but like Mac wasn't here, a few of you weren't here, like, I get kind of clumsy when I'm around idiots wearing nice shoes, and I might accidentally step on every one of them and trip over them and scuff them up a little. I might. I mean, it's not my fault I get that clumsy around them. You know, I wish I didn't, but you know, it might happen.
I mean, I don't know that I believe that anyone will ever be wearing a pair of those.
They are 5 months back ordered according to the documentation on the website where you order them.
Yeah. And I have my suspicions that it will all ultimately prove to be a scam. No one will ever receive their shoes. They will take the money and run.
Yeah.
That seems distinctly likely given the track record.
Well, that same document also says that there are no refunds under any circumstances. All sales are final, period. So, yeah, totally. Oh, my God, did it work? It's a miracle. It worked. We got a stream alert. Thanks for the follow there, Hacks. Not only because thanks for the follow, but Stream Elements wasn't working. What, you didn't like the sound? Come on, that was an awesome alert. It was that. And that's custom. That alert is built for my stream. That is not like some like theme or something. I had a guy from Fiverr make those to fit kind of the color scheme and everything, and I think he did an amazing job with them. Do you think the volume should be lower? Was that too loud? Like what's the thing? Ah, okay, I see. I mean, I guess that's the point, right? Well, you know, showing that people have done a thing. It needs some attention. Yeah. So, of course, what's up on the screen here is good old Elon. He has an alt on Twitter called Adrian Dittman, as if that's a real person. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, come on, seriously? Really? Good old Adrian has blocked me. He got mad about some things that happened between me, him, Liam Neeson, a space he was in. This is absolutely Elon. I know some people are like, maybe, but like listening to him in the spaces and then calling him out on some shit and, you know, getting him to block me and everything. Like, no, that's Elon. I mean, I've heard enough of Elon's voice to know, you know, when I'm, you know, talking to fucking Elon. And getting him to block me just felt right, you know? It's been very interesting watching this account. If you go look at the account and you look at some of its history, he's gone through and deleted some of the cringier shit because we kept pointing it out. But he has moments where, like, Elon would tweet something and then he would come in under this account and tweet about what a wonderful father Elon must be.
It's like Scott Adams on Reddit.
Exactly. Like, it was just the dumbest fucking shit. And so just getting into fights with him until he blocked me was fun. I was expecting to possibly get, you know, suspended or banned or something. You know, get a day or something for like harassment and everything, because he's done that to a few other people. He didn't do that to Liam Neeson. When Liam Neeson's account went down, he had actually deactivated himself because in one of the spaces, Adrian Dittman got a whole horde of Elon dick riders together, and they were trying to dox Liam at Elon's behest, and he was talking about, you know, get information on this guy, can someone ID him? And it ended up with Liam getting a lot of creepy messages with some close to correct information, close enough that he was like, this is bullshit. and he disabled the account for a bit and moved over to Blue Sky for like all of a day. He realized it was just a bunch of trolls being idiots, and those types of people don't ever actually do anything. And he came back. So we've got good old Liam back. But yeah, it was just it's crazy. Interacting with someone this fragile is I mean, I've been trolled 10 times harder than that. I've had people with my real info give me calls like, "This is everything about you. Here's your bank account," and I've just laughed at them. So Elon needs to grow a bigger spine, because this is stupid. Not that I want him to, because it's hilarious that it affects him so much.
Yeah, he is. It is impressive that we have a second person at that level of wealth and privilege that is that incredibly thin-skinned and like terminally online.
Right? Ugh. So let's move on to some other fun stuff. We learned today which company, it might have been last night, which company actually bought Reddit's data for the AI training. And Reddit has sold their data and the rights to keep that data up to date to Google. And buried deep in some of the information, which I haven't seen reported strongly, it looks like Google has the ability now on Reddit's behalf to go and do lawsuits against anyone else training their data or training their LLMs on Reddit's data, because Google now has the exclusive right to that stuff. And so now there's two big legal teams ready to stop people from using Reddit's data, and Google get to use it all. And while sure, Reddit has, as much trouble as anyone else, having, truth be all that is said on it, it's still like an amazing data set to be able to train off of, like daily, like tons of conversations in all the languages. Like it's just, this is a big win for Google. I don't think it's a big win for us, but it's a big win for Google. Ugh. So yeah, so that's who won. If anyone was wondering, Google gets it. And then in other AI fun stuff, Stability AI announced that they are now basically beta testing Stable Diffusion 3, which does text extremely well and is, again, just better. This was created with Stable Diffusion 3 with this prompt: epic anime artwork of a wizard atop a mountain at night casting a cosmic spell into the dark sky that says Stable Diffusion 3 made out of a colorful energy. And there are just more prompts showing what it can do here. And this is photorealistic if you zoom in on it. Stuff like this was actually hard for these models to do a couple months ago. Telling it to do 3 bottles, telling it which color was in each bottle, and then which number was on each bottle. This was a thing that they had trouble. These numbers would have been crap, and the middle one could have turned out green. The fact that we're now where this works, some people won't see what that means, but that's a hell of a big move. I want this setup. It generated this old school setup. This machinery looks like stuff I used to have on my desks, and I want this. This looks awesome to me. But Stable Diffusion 3, and this is going to be another open model. Once they're done testing it, we're all going to get this at home, just like SD 1.5, 2, 2.1, XL. One of those was a printer. The other one was external disk drives. But yeah, so Stable Diffusion 3 is coming, and it looks like this. And that is huge. The other interesting news that came out was Midjourney said that Midjourney 7 will do video. And it will do video similar to Sora. Stability also said that the way they're training Stable Diffusion 3 here is the same architecture and training technology, basically, that's used in Sora. So if they wanted to, they could feed it video instead of image, and it could do video just like Sora. And so they haven't said they are doing it, but they've said we totally could, which is, I think, a hint at the fact that they are doing it. But yeah, this is crazy. This shit is getting too good too fast. Now, how about the funny stuff? AT&T outage disrupts services for millions of users. But also, I mean, it affected everyone. It affected Verizon and T-Mobile and everyone else because you couldn't call in to people on AT&T phones, which again, or across AT&T's network. AT&T has said it was a peering issue, which peering, for people who don't know, is when you have someone on Verizon trying to call someone on AT&T. There's got to be an interconnect between them that, they peer. And so there's peering agreements in place for how they peer, at what data centers the cross connects happen and all that. And they're saying that there was something wrong with their peering. The reason I don't believe that's the entirety of the story is if you're having peering problems on your border, then why could AT&T people not call AT&T people? Which is inter-network, unreliant on the peers. Now, you will have sections of AT&T's network that might be on the other side of a peered agreement. So it might go through, say, like a lot of networks go through what used to be Sprint's backbone in Kansas City, which is now T-Mobile, of course. But to get to the other side and everything. But that AT&T people in California should have been able to call AT&T people in California. The peering didn't matter. Yeah, and again, FirstNet. I mean, there's a million reasons why peering was absolutely a problem today, but I don't buy that was the problem today. They're saying it, of course, because they want to, get rid of the idea that it was a cyber attack of some kind. And I don't know if it was a cyber attack or they have a bigger issue that they don't want to let on due to stock prices, or maybe the government stepping in saying it was totally a cyber attack, and maybe it was China, and maybe they were mad about something and we don't want to tell the world about it. Who knows? But I don't buy for a minute that it was only peering, because all of the things that actually happened definitely don't add up to only peering.
No.
Yeah, totally. It was Nord Stream got cut again, right? It was totally an undersea cable getting cut again. Absolutely. Obviously. Here's another one that's just, of course, everyone should have believed this was happening. Avast, who make, antivirus, privacy software, anti-malware stuff, all the fun toys, like a McAfee, like a Norton, were actually taking all of the data of all of their users that were using their privacy software and selling it, because of course they were. They swear it was anonymized, but people who have looked at the data say, no, it wasn't. And the fine that they had to pay, $16.5 million, was about 1/10 of what they made on all of the selling of all that user data. So that fine does nothing to deter anyone, although supposedly their program of selling it has stopped. For anyone who would do that program in the first place, I just don't believe that. Ugh is all I've got to say about that. The thing that you put on your system to help protect you from it was actually the thing doing the spying. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Good times. I do still think, even with that, Avast was better than Norton or McAfee. But
if only because it didn't cripple your system from slowing it down for no reason whatsoever.
Always remember, when you uninstall McAfee off of a system, you haven't uninstalled it. If you go look at things that are running, there are still system processes running after you've run all the uninstallers that exist on your system. You actually have to go to their website and download the McAfee removal tool and run that afterward to strip the rest of it away. Why can they make the removal tool but not have that in their uninstaller? I wonder. Yeah. So always remember, if you've got a new machine that came with bloatware or anything else and you don't want to reinstall the whole OS, but you definitely want to uninstall, Norton has one too, the Norton removal tool. You've got to go run those extra tools after uninstall to really remove it. And it's just, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
So we have Apple unveiling PQ3, which is post-quantum protocol. The idea behind these protocols is that they've got some of the new encryption that went through the whole DARPA program where they were trying to find new quantum-safe encryption to have that in place before quantum hits, right? Now, for the go forward, let's say this stuff actually is quantum safe. Hey, great. Then, from now on, we've got, quantum safe stuff. But one thing for people to remember that, I don't think a lot of people really do is that for the last couple decades, all of the stuff that was going out with other encryption, like through iMessage and other tools, WhatsApp's encryption, everything else, was still getting scarfed up, saved by all the big intelligence, groups, be them companies, be them government operators, and stored. They still have all that encrypted stuff. It's just not decrypted because, they couldn't break it. The second they have the quantum encryption tools that can break that type of stuff, they're going to go back through history and decrypt all of that and change their totally random encrypted bits of data they have all over the damn place from all kinds of different systems and protocols into completely unencrypted stuff they can mine. So this doesn't do anything to protect all the stuff that was encrypted for the last 20, 30 years. That stuff that they've saved will probably be broken. We aren't there yet. We don't have quantum systems that can actually do that at this point. But every year they seem to get closer, which, sounds funny to say it that way, but leaps and bounds closer. Like something that we thought was 50 years out is now 30 years out, is now 10 years out. They're making leaps and bounds to when this stuff might be feasible to start using. And that's what we know publicly. Remember, just like when we saw a lot of the Snowden stuff, and a lot of other tech releases that have hinted at, the government being 2 or 3 years ahead on some technologies and some decryption tools. We won't know until after it's already in use, right? Unless we're really lucky and someone steps up and leaks everything, which, we can hope for. But it is interesting that we've reached the state where people now have to do this. I mean, it is similar in a fashion, but, with the fusion power, at least, finally, last year and this year, we have had now a test and a reproducible test that generated more energy than was put in finally in a tokamak, right? So it is moving forward, just not at the pace that, that everyone keeps hoping it will.
Well, also part of the problem is that to do any sort of useful tests of technology for fusion reactors requires these large-scale experiments because of the efficiency scales up and in order as it gets bigger. And so in order to make something that's actually useful for the test, they need something that's actually pretty big and very, very expensive. And the funding simply hasn't been there to develop it.
Correct. I mean, yeah, it'll be, I think, a great boon to society when we do get actual working fusion with it at scale. Right now, yeah, the last major test did produce literally double what was put into it. But how long did it produce it for? It was seconds.
Also, it was
something like that.
A yield. It was a positive yield if you count only the direct input energy. The actual amount of energy needed to be produced in order to input that much energy was much larger.
Yeah, because the tokamak is made up of a lot of other parts too.
Yeah, it is not. It was not efficient enough that it would actually be a net positive yield. Right. But it was more than the direct input energy.
But the step forward of it's now more than the direct input is huge.
Also, these reactors are not intended to achieve that. So, they are research reactors for testing.
Yeah, these are all research reactors.
To get to that, they were never built with the idea of making an actual net energy yield thing. So, it would not be fair to judge them by that standard. It's just an important, that isn't the thing that they achieved either.
When is ITER going live?
Good question. It keeps getting pushed back.
10 years ago, then 5 years ago, then last year,
and
but no.
Again, that's almost entirely an issue of they kept not getting the funding they were supposed to.
Totally.
So, there's the joke about fusion power being 20 years away and it always will be, or 30 years away, it always will be. But it's literally if 30 years ago they'd put in, $20 billion, we'd probably already have it. They just weren't willing.
So what is post-quantum encryption? The easiest definition of this is that quantum computing is coming soon. If it can do what we expect it to do, and if it can amplify what we've already seen the tests doing, then the second you turn on a powerful enough quantum system, you could break pretty much every encryption used before this year in a matter of seconds, instead of some, taking years, some taking decades, some taking centuries based on our current computing. So you can imagine that one day we will have all this encryption from the last 30 years, and some of it's been broken. Some of the RSA stuff was broken, a decade ago, but they switched to newer methods. You go from SHA to SHA-1 to SHA-2, you do all these things up the path of encryption, of hashing, of all these other algorithms and protocols, and it gets better over time as they get cracked. But they were getting cracked for mathematical reasons, right? There were flaws. These days, there aren't many of those left, and now they're pretty strong. It would take a huge amount of supercomputing computer to break any real encryption today that you didn't have a flaw for, right? But with a quantum system, well, they turn the machine on, and an hour later, most of the stuff that we have right now today is broken. We're in trouble when that happens. So DARPA did the same thing DARPA always does, and they set up another one of those contests where everyone submit, your ideas for what an encryption system would look like, a protocol, an algorithm that would be safe against how a quantum computer would attack it. Meaning, once we turn that quantum computer on, it can't crack this. And a bunch of them went for it. One ended up winning. I don't remember the name of the one that won. But it won as the standard that DARPA went with, saying this is what the government was going to start playing with in testing. And a couple of them looked like they were great and then totally failed with mathematical, errors that allowed them to be decrypted even on today's stuff. So we're going to see. We don't have systems strong enough in the quantum space right now that we can actually test whether these new protocols are actually quantum safe. So we're guessing at what that looks like, basically. But, very, very smart people are making those guesses. So I do think at least one of these protocols or algorithms is going to be better than anything we have today. We will just see when that first quantum machine comes online that has a dedicated goal of doing this. I don't think that's that far away. I mean, that could be 5 years away. It could be sooner. They are amping that stuff up quick. I can still remember when D-Wave first launched their first supposedly little quantum machine out of Canada there, a little more than a decade ago, I think. And everyone was like, oh shit, quantum's here? And they were like, well, it's not what quantum will be in the future, but it's the first step. And, we all had to, go, oh my God, it's here. Well, not really. There was a day there where we were like, shit, someone's already commercial with this stuff? And nah.
Turns out the answer was yes and no.
Yeah, exactly. And because it's quantum, the answer was yes and no.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this is just Apple's idea of, we're going to make encryption now that we don't think quantum will solve for. But again, any messages sent that they've sucked up and built databases around in any systems they've been monitoring, encrypted or not, for decades, will probably be broken the second the NSA flips on their freaking quantum machine whenever they have that working. And we won't know when that happens unless there's another Snowden out there. We will find out a couple years later when, a commercial project comes online with it. And by then, they would have already gone through all of that and used all of that information. So, because also quantum machines will be really good at searching through data really quickly. Mm-hmm. One of the things about quantum that I find really tough is describing what a quantum computer is actually doing, why it's so much more powerful.
Yeah.
And there's only one way I've described it that actually made sense to people who aren't, deep into this type of stuff. And it's not exactly right, but it's the best way to describe it to someone who does not get this. You can imagine that on these two computers right here, normal old, here's an Intel, here's an AMD, they're running x86, or even on like my phone, which is basically ARM, the iPhone SoCs are all, ARM related. You have a certain amount of computing power. And so you can calculate out this task that needs this many CPU cycles at this frequency with this RAM, with this speed across the bus and everything else is going to take this long. Let's say, 5 minutes, right? If I were to then point that same task, properly optimized, at a quantum computer, it would happen that quick because the computer is as powerful as is needed to make it go that quick. Once we get to the end, the initial quantum computing, as they're building up the number of qubits they have and, all that fun stuff, won't do that exactly. But once we get to the most powerful one that we need, it basically is like, I have a task that on a normal PC takes, 3 hours. It's, some kind of simulation. On the quantum machine, it goes like that because the quantum machine is as powerful as is needed at that moment. And that is totally wrong. And any academic who actually knows this shit will laugh at me for it. But it is the best way to describe it to someone who doesn't understand this stuff that at least kind of makes sense. It is crazy what they're going to do.
I forget the exact explanation that I once heard, but I think it was something to the effect of like, say you have a group of people that want to order a pizza to share, and they each have their like topping preferences, and so you want to figure out like what pizza satisfies everyone. And basically what a quantum computer does is it simultaneously has like already stored, like by setting up the query, it already has all of the possible permutations of pizza toppings. And it just finds, like it instantly has the thing that matches the, it pulls out the subset that match all of the preferences.
Yeah, basically.
So,
and yeah, we're definitely going to talk about Tim Burke in a little bit. Saving all of that for then. But yeah, that's the basics of it. Good times. Let's move on to the next story. So, the LockBit ransomware gang. 2 of them arrested. Supposedly all of their infrastructure taken down, the website replaced with the standard kind of, thing we've gotten used to, a bunch of government office logos, Interpol, the FBI, all them. The BKF, I think, is one of these. But the site is now under the control of law enforcement, if you went to their dark website. And then they say that they arrested 2 of them and that everything is shut down, and they've developed a decryption key or decryption tool for everyone who's still a victim of it. They've also taken 200 cryptocurrency accounts frozen. Who knows how much money was in those? But LockBit had already taken over, I think it was $144 million in payments. So well done them, I guess. They closed 14,000 accounts. They took 34 servers down, like all this fun stuff, right? The funniest thing to come from it is this website, which looks a lot like the LockBit blog that was up, also, on the dark web. The government agencies took this, and what this used to be was like the red ones were victims and their names and the amount of data that was there that hadn't paid yet, and the green ones were ones that had paid. And there was another color, I think, for ones that didn't pay and were leaked. And so the government came in and kind of mimicked that site and put it up on the same URL, but with like all the data about LockBit and about the arrests and everything else with a bounty on the head of one of the leaders of the group that they hadn't arrested yet. It said 10 million here, but they raised it to 15 million. And they said, the group was totally shut down at this point. We had disrupted them. But they were working on a new version of their tools called LockBit NG. So I'm guessing like every other NG, it's next generation, right? However, this was, some of this was yesterday, some of this was today. However, VX Underground, which are just an awesome group of people who should be followed by, everyone, largest collection of malware, source, samples, data on the internet, right? They are awesome. They actually talked to current LockBit people who aren't, the two that were arrested, who say, they assert the individuals arrested are the wrong people and the multi-agencies involved arrested innocent people. What they're actually referring to is probably like these were money mules and people like that, not the real true LockBit, actual coders and everything else. They assert that the FBI, NCA, UK, Europol do not have their information. And they said they would double the 10 million bounty to 20 million themselves. That LockBit would pay 20 million if anyone actually doxed them, because no one was gonna. I don't believe they'd ever pay that, of course. And they say that the FBI and all them are not skilled pen testers, and their success was only due to administration's laziness. So someone made a mistake. Yeah, they definitely have the 20 million if all of the accounts weren't taken. So that's interesting, right? They say that. And they say this the day after all of this was announced and happened, right? And then we get this from good old Hacker Fantastic that I saw this. LockBit returns. Bleeping Computer posted this today. Screen Connect, which is a server software used in a lot of enterprises. Their servers are getting hacked left and right by LockBit ransomware attacks that seem to be getting past all the signatures and everything else that were added to antiviruses and everything over the last couple of days. So this could be LockBit NG that, was supposedly going to release soon. But they obviously didn't shut LockBit down because LockBit are doing a lot right now. Who knows if this is a run of we're angry at everything that happened, or if this is just their standard, we got new 0 days. Who knows? But the idea that LockBit was gone lasted about 30 hours. Yeah. Years-long fight of multi-agencies across international borders to shut them down. And when they caught and destroyed everything, it lasted about 30 hours. Well done, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. One of the other ransomware groups that got their cryptocurrency accounts locked and whatnot, some of the victims who had paid out ended up being able to recover some of their funds. Some of that, the Bitcoin and whatnot, ends up just in the funds of these organizations like the FBI, like the NCA, like Interpol. They usually, in the end, auctioned it all off. Like some of the Silk Road Bitcoins, they were auctioned off and things like that. The ones that FBI agents didn't steal, which, I mean, that's not like me just joking. Like literally, there were court cases. People went to jail. Like agents stole cryptocurrency from Silk Road during that whole event. So maybe those 200 accounts they say they got have enough to feed back into some of these companies. But yeah, LockBit was down for hours. Good job. Good job. This one, I mean, just pointing out the obvious. Everyone knows Tulsi Gabbard has become, nothing but a right-wing mouthpiece serving Putin. Now she's holding an event at Mar-a-Lago. I mean, like, she's just, taking the mask off. I mean, she was trying hard to say she was a centrist for a little bit, but come on. I've never liked her. I've complained about her from the very beginning of her really showing up on everyone's radar, and I now dislike her even more. Ugh. This one is infuriating. A group of Girl Scouts in Missouri wanted to hold a fundraiser for Gaza because they're so upset about, genocide. And the Girl Scouts said no. and threatened that if you held this political fundraiser, we would file legal action against you, against a Girl Scout troop. So, of course, the Girl Scout troop and their troop leader dissolved the troop, all left the Girl Scouts, formed their own little club, and held the damn fundraiser anyways. So good on them. Fuck that. Now, the Girl Scouts say, we don't want to get political on either side of this. We want kids to be able to join no matter who their parents are or what their politics are and blah, 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 blah. It's genocide. Fuck you.
Yeah, it does not seem like a position that holds up very well, given that it's not actually, like, opposing genocide is humanitarian, not political.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be political, at least. Obviously, humanitarian things are often political, but, like, the fact that it's been politicized shouldn't matter when it comes to humanitarian concerns.
Exactly. So we move on to, of course, the Church of Ecclesia, the unwoke church.
The Proud
led
Boys
by,
Church.
what is it, Pastor Hansel Orzame, or Zame. I don't know how he pronounces his name. I'm going to guess it's Orzame. But self-identified Christian nationalist. He actually likes the term. And he is baptizing Proud Boys into his Christian nationalist church, which don't have their own space, so they're currently renting and using Telegram to organize. But they say funny things like, Christ had the biggest cojones. Being men of Christ is being real men, so let's be real men. True masculinity is found in Christ. This is... I'm
curious as to whether this guy has ever actually read the Bible, because, like, I don't have a huge amount of respect for it or anything, but, like, this has very little to do with that.
So the Proud Boys now have their own church, and it's all about Christian nationalism. So that should go well for, everyone involved. I'm waiting for the church to literally do something that, ties them all up in some conspiracy charge. Yeah. Because, it's them. That's what they do. They're that dumb.
Yeah, and they are exactly that sort of people.
Yeah, it's just... I am going to an event on the Common this weekend. Two of them, actually. There's one for Gaza and there's one for Ukraine, both happening back-to-back on the Common this weekend. And at the Ukraine one, I'm definitely expecting some of the MAGA and alt-right from around here, probably NSC and everyone else, to show up and yell about the funding of Ukraine. So, going there to counter-protest, that should be fun. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, the first link does go to Vice News. Yeah, that'll be going away. I wonder if they're going to leave those links up for archival purposes and maybe just cover them with more ads in hopes to generate some revenue, or whether they think the upkeep on the infrastructure to keep the site alive is too much. They're probably just going to shut it all down and redirect it to their new stuff. Then we have, of course, comrades Comer and Jordan. What is there to say about these people just getting, basically run as, Russian agents at this point? I don't for a minute believe they know that they're Russian agents. I don't think they're smart enough to know that. It's not that I don't believe they would do it.
Yeah, they are probably literally just dumb enough that they got tricked into it. And Russia didn't see any reason to, let them know.
Yeah, again, more useful idiots.
Yeah.
I did love this image, though. This was great. Good times.
I did think it was very funny that, what's his name? Alexander Smirnov was arrested again, because the first judge let him out.
Yeah, he was let out on personal recognizance, and then people were like, wait, what?
Wait, this guy's a multimillionaire with like all sorts of foreign contacts.
Yeah, who has admitted to ties to Russian intelligence, and you've let him walk free?
Yeah.
That dude's going to be gone in a day if you don't go get him again. And so luckily they filed for that, and they went and, picked him back up and put him back in jail. Holy crap.
It's mind-boggling that they let him out in the first place.
It is so weird being absolutely on the side of the prison industrial complex should go away, being on the side of our justice system isn't justice, and also wanting that son of a bitch to go to jail. I have troubles putting those two things together in my head.
I mean, it seems superficially incongruous, but like when you look at the deeper like understanding of why you hold those positions, it makes sense. Like your opposition to the prison industrial complex is because it is unjust. You don't want like our justice system is messed up because it's not just. These assholes going to prison for like trying to screw over all of society. Yeah, no, that seems fair. Like I don't necessarily want it to be like the prisons that we have, but if it's that or them go free, that seems like a pretty easy choice.
True. I do think you're right in chat there. If Smirnov was to go back to Russia, they would probably interrogate him for a day, and then we would find out that he accidentally fell out of another, third-story window.
Yeah.
Actually, probably fifth story.
Yeah, it is usually above the third floor.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, in all honesty, Matthew, I say this really in all honesty. I needed to go to prison. I would not have gone down the path of activism, of trying to do right, of caring about things if I had not. That experience is what brought me to this side of things. And so sometimes a little growing up timeout is a good thing. I don't know that I would be saying that same thing had I gotten the full sentence I was supposed to get, because that would have been my whole life. But, the time that I did get definitely helped make me who I am today. I don't think that'll help much with, a Russian foreign agent, but for me, it was a good thing. And that is a weird thing to, say and to believe. I don't think there's much more to say about Comer and Jim Jordan. I mean, we all know who they are. We all know how stupid they are. We all know that they're falling for pretty much anything. I mean, it's almost as if their kink is humiliation. Seriously. Like they want to be humiliated. Like it's crazy.
And the worst part is they literally got warned that like everything he was saying was unverified. They knew that in advance. They were told.
Yeah.
We had another congressional Republican come out and say, yeah, we were warned that was that was not necessarily trustworthy information.
So now we get to Navalny. And this one is so tough to talk about because so many people on the left are talking about him as some kind of a hero, as a good person, as the person who maybe could have saved Russia from Putin. And he was a ultra-nationalist neo-Nazi who recorded videos for his old video podcast of him holding guns, talking about what needed to happen to the immigrants.
Yeah.
Talking about the blood of the Russians and its purity.
And like literally calling immigrants vermin.
Yeah. I mean, he used all kinds of names for them.
Yeah. But like that, literally that level of rhetoric.
There are videos of him in the front of marches filled with neo-Nazis holding swastika flags. And it's fine if, say, that's you in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it's 20 years on, and you have come to your senses, you've had that moment, you have talked with people, you have come out, you have decided to fight against that, You have decided that it is time to tell the world that you're sorry for what you have done. There are multiple skinheads from the old attempt at infiltrating the punk scene in the early 90s that actually found the light and became some of the most ardent anti-neo-Nazis and Antifa people in the Antifa movement.
Yeah.
You can make that move. He did not, at least publicly. He walked back the intensity of his statements, but he never disavowed them. In interviews where he was asked to do so, he would just dodge it and move on. So, like, better than Putin? Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
But if that's...
like, this is not the enemy of your enemy is your friend. This is the fascist on fascist violence.
The enemy of my enemy is still a neo-Nazi.
Yeah.
Like, until he came out and utterly disavowed all of those old statements and left his affiliations with any of those groups, I say he hadn't done it. The one thing that you can find out there where he responds to it is him saying that the reason he didn't delete any of those old videos, because some of them still exist on his old YouTube, is that they were historic, that they told the truth of the moment, and that he didn't like removing history. So what he was trying to say was, that's not me anymore, but I'm not going to lie about who I was. But he didn't say those words. He didn't apologize for what they were.
He very much didn't say, that's not who I am.
Yeah, he was very lightly hinting that that might be the case without saying it so strongly that he would lose allies that are still that way. So I see so many people on the left. I saw some friends of mine out there tweeting all about, him and Biden's meeting with his family and talking about sanctions against Putin for it. Now, sanctions against Putin all day, please. Just continue to pile them on, whatever.
Also, okay, he was a piece of shit, sure. That doesn't justify the government murdering him in prison.
Absolutely not. He
And
should have been allowed to do
like,
everything in public that he was doing.
Yeah, you can
Free speech and all that.
Yeah, he can be a bad person, and it can still be bad for the government to wrongfully imprison him on trumped up charges and then murder him in prison.
Exactly. Yeah, you can be upset that happened in current society where we don't want that shit happening. But if you're out here trying to convince me that Navalny was a good guy, I can't get there.
No.
He had 15 years to apologize and disavow all of the things that he said and did in the past. And he never did.
Yeah, I certainly never heard anything about him disavowing the National Russian Liberation Movement that he co-founded with Nazbols.
Exactly. Maybe he didn't feel the need to apologize for all of that because, again, his idea that was true history, and maybe he did feel that wasn't him anymore. But then why the fuck didn't he say shit like that?
Yeah.
So I know people who actually met him. I know people who worked with him on news stories. I have talked to these people, and they have told me that was not the Navalny they knew. In fact, I had a personal conversation with someone who has been very public about their support of him as a good person, and that he will not hear all this nonsense about him still being a Nazi. And I took that conversation private and told the person I wouldn't actually identify them because they are a friend of mine. He honestly believes that Navalny had changed, and through his personal conversations with them, learned that wasn't who Navalny was anymore. But I had to press him on, then why isn't any of that change of ideology public? Why didn't he come out and say any of it? Why didn't he change his stance on things? Why didn't his issues that he fought against speak to his new differing viewpoints? And there's no answer to that. There's just no answer to that. So all we ended up with was, well, that's not the person I knew. And that's not enough for me. You know what I mean?
I have heard all too many times people say that's not the person I knew about someone who was unambiguously like a neo-Nazi or a Klansman at the time that the person was talking about, having known them.
Yeah.
I have seen that story play out many times.
Yeah. Yeah, so AT&T is saying it's a software update that affected their peering. Okay, I mean, sure. Was the software update done by them or China? do they say that?
That is a good question.
You know, that's ugh to their network expansion. You know, yeah, so now they have a totally new story because their press officer was quoted earlier as saying it was peering related. So now they've changed their story. Okay, great. For anyone who doesn't know, like when I'm looking off this way and not talking directly to chat, it's because that's where chat is for me. So I got to read chat and keep up with everything, you know? I don't have one of those chats that's in slow mode or anything. It's not like there's a million of you talking in there, but we will get there one day. And then I'll find a way to have it like on a prompter up here next to the camera. But until then, it can just be down here. The next thing to talk about, which I had like 50 tabs of this open, so I'll just bring the main one over, is this. Tim Burke, journalist, has been indicted on, they have the number here, just so I can highlight it. Where is it? It's somewhere here. Anyways, it was 14 counts. It's actually right here with 14 federal crimes, including conspiracy. They say that Tim Burke was the one who leaked Tucker Carlson's clips that embarrassed Fox News to Media Matters and Vice. He is getting hit hard for this one. 14 crimes. I mean, again, this just feels like the over-prosecution standard where they're going to hit you with 14 of them, so you plead to one. Same thing that was happening to Aaron Swartz, if anyone remembers. A bunch of guidelines and policies put in place by Eric Holder. It's horrible. Ugh. Yeah, so again, this also included the Kanye West video where he was saying all the anti-Semitic stuff. In fact, it says right here, Kanye West anti-Semitic remarks. I know what Tim has already said, but I am still going to say allegedly because that's just, how I feel about these things. Ugh. Does anyone have any comments they want to talk about on this one? Because there's not really much more to say. Supposed alleged leaker gets caught and is facing way over prosecution, which is the standard. Absolutely. Yeah, that's why I was saying I'm saying it allegedly, even though his attorney absolutely admitted to it. That's just where we are. And again, you know how this works, Matthew. You of all people, just like me, know exactly how this works. I don't know if Chad even knows, how much you know exactly how this works like I do. But their tactic is we're going to throw 14 of these at you. 5 of them might even be close to real and close to on the nose. But the idea is that they can convince you specifically to plea to one of them. So they do get you with the felony, which allows them to throw you in prison and everything else. Yeah, they threw 19 at me when I was when I went through it. Yeah, it was ugh. So the idea is just that, the 14 that they're putting on him are going to scare him because 14, when you look at mandatory minimums on some of them, sentencing guidelines on others, you start to see the years adding up. Some of them allow for concurrent sentences, some don't. So, I don't know if it says in here or not how many years he could actually be facing with this specific 14 that he's charged with. But, Live View was the victim. Ugh. But, whether he's facing 20 years, whether he's facing 60, it doesn't matter. When you're facing that kind of time and they say, all we actually want is you to go to jail, so plea to one of them and we'll drop all the rest of them, people take that plea deal. All day they'll take that plea deal, right? Unless they say we want you to plead to 3 or 4 or 5 of them, then no. But if they give him an out, you know, he'll probably end up having to take it. Unless he's got balls of fucking steel. But I don't think that's balls of steel. If he goes to trial, like Matthew says in the chat, he's losing. His lawyer's already said he did it. The only thing he could get out of trial is lowering charges, getting some charges dropped, getting some things stricken, getting some evidence thrown out, which might, lower some things. He could get the sentencing guidelines dropped by certain actions in court at trial. So there's a lot of actions he could take that would lower what he's looking at, but there's no way he wins in trial. So I again, this is over prosecution with the attempt of getting him to plead to some way lower set of charges. Hopefully for him, it's just one that they really want to stick. Exactly. So, I mean, depending on also, there are sentencing guidelines for this stuff, but judges do have a lot of power. Juries have a lot of power. There's a lot of ways they can also, federal sentencing guidelines are on levels. So also depending on the type of crime, like if it's got financial damages, then based on the calculation of damages, you could be at level 1, level 2, level 3. And those levels then also have years associated with them and the level of punishment and also like the level of how much you have to, pay back and all that type stuff. So depending on really where all that fits in that matrix of all of that fun stuff, he could be facing a lot. At least 3 years. If he pleads to something around this level and just, gets out, he could get a year and get good time if he's lucky. And he doesn't have to give anything up to plea. Like, in a lot of times when you plea, it's just you literally saying, fine, you want the gold star next to your name, Mr. Prosecutor, saying you got me. I'll give that to you. You can put me in prison, but I'll only give it to you if you only give me 1 year. Like, there's a negotiation there. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he could also end up with probation. The goal on the prosecutor's side is just not to lose, right? They want something that says got him. So they'll hit you with these big numbers, in order to really try and get you to come to the table and talk. Because if they come at him with one charge that he thinks he could get lessened, that in court he probably won't have the worst time with, and maybe he still gets found guilty of, but, the jury hears the right type of evidence and blah, 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 he might take that to trial. Hitting him with 14 is going to make him change his mind about going to trial. Oh, yeah. They will definitely want money for this one. No, LiveView is going to claim a lot of damages. Ugh. So we can hope. I think what he did was righteous. I like the actions of leakers. I think we need more protections for people who leak things that are in the public interest. I think the protections of all of this type of stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right, Matthew. Like, I mean, just outright. Ugh is what I've really got to say to that. I'm going to ask this just, to throw it out there, Matt. Would you ever want to actually come on and we could talk about like what happened with you and maybe, have chat, have an open conversation about that type stuff? I think that would be kind of neat sometime in the future. Just the process. People like hearing about that type of stuff who have never gone through it. Perfect. That's awesome. Will do. For people in chat, it is definitely related to all the things that you guys like, Hackers Anonymous and all the other fun stuff. So you will enjoy that conversation. You can also just go Google. I mean, it's not hard to find out all the fun stuff, but having the conversation will be really interesting. I do think, though, the point I was making there, as a society, these types of leaks are better for us to have happen than not, right? And our legal system should afford some kind of ability for that to be meaningful, for that to have some kind of a say in the resultant action against someone who leaks. As a society, was this better for us? Oh, yeah, absolutely. They'll get a rough idea of something went on, but Yeah, Google. I mean, you can Google a bunch of shit about me that is all kinds of incorrect. So I am wishing Tim Burke all the best. My hope is that he's not stupid, that he pleads correctly, that he doesn't give anything else up that he doesn't have to. I definitely agree with Matt that it would have been better if he had had better lawyers. But here we are. Oh, man. I need to get some more water, and then we've got a few other fun things to talk about. How's it going? What's up?
You spit on for 2 hours.
Indeed.
Time to start nagging you to stop.
I'm hydrating. You can talk. There doesn't have to be dead air.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. I was just organizing the others, all the tabs I had.
Do what?
Can we pull up a chair? Is it time?
It's not time yet. Probably another half hour, something like that.
You're killing me.
Oh, yeah. Mac is like 4 feet that way from me. Luckily, this Rodecaster, both of these nice mics are plugged in with XLR right into the back of this thing. So we're not getting any stupid echo. It's really good at the cancellation of our signals. The mix on this thing is awesome. And the way you can set it up to actually remove certain sounds, like I remove his mic from mine, and I remove my mic from his, which is why there isn't an echo. And then they both go into the main mix after that. Like the Rodecaster Pro 2 is freaking awesome. I wish mine had a screen that wasn't kind of faulty, but like I can't afford to send it back to them because I'll be without it for like 2 weeks. I have all kinds of messages. Ah, yes. They are, of course, from my wife who just came into the room, which I'm sure you guys saw in the background. Near the end of stream, we're going to like play all the standard daily games and everything else. Yeah, the setup here, like I know I haven't shown that off in a bit, but it is interesting because like I've got my whole desk here, which is like an L shape. And then there's a desk against that wall, which is my standing desk. So I can stand up during the day and, not sit in a chair all day long. And I can, go between the two. And then there's across the ceiling here, basically, 4 cables that go all the way over the top to the ceiling and down and over there. So we've got a 50-foot XLR cable, a 50-foot Cat 8 cable. We've got a 50-foot extender that actually brings USB across from over there using an active fiber cable, which is really cool because USB 3 does not like going 50 feet. So you have these media converters on both ends that convert it over to a fiber signal, which is fine to go that far and not lose strength. And then on the other end, reconverts back to USB. So like there's just all the cabling going across because doing this wirelessly was not the throughput we wanted. And this network is a 10 gig network. And so, I mean, that the MacBook Pro that's sitting on his desk in front of him is actually 10 gig with a Thunderbolt adapter. So it's kind of awesome. And then these two just have old Intel 10 gig cards that were from data center, capture from recyclers and whatnot. So I've got 2 old server ones that are like 8 years old from when 10 gig was first really starting to become a thing that the lower end people could get and wasn't only for like Facebook and whatnot. Now you can get 200 gig cards, which is insanity to me. I cannot, of course, afford a 200 gig switch. That's a little much, just a little much. But yeah, so what else do we have to talk about? Mac has a bunch of topics.
We have a story out of Texas.
Well, here, let me answer this. This is the Shure SM7B. Thanks to an awesome chatter who is in there tonight. This thing is just amazing. I should not have a $400 microphone. I am very lucky to have this thing. Holy crap. I was talking to him and he asked what mic do I want, and I jokingly said, well, all the major streamers I watch all have this. kind of with the idea that this was never happening because the streamers I watch have all made it and have like 20,000 live viewers at a time. So like we're talking like the Ludwigs, the Moist Criticals, your Penguin, you know, they have this mic because like they can afford it. And then Alistair was just like, here you go. So I have a mic that sounds this good because the fan base here is awesome. Although I wouldn't call him a fan. I would call him a very close personal friend because he was my roommate for years. Yeah, so this is just awesome. I love this mic. Thank you again a million times. It is crazy how good this mic sounds. Thank you. And now on to Mac stuff, which I interrupted there for a second.
Yeah, so a judge in Texas ruled that it did not violate the state's Crown Act, which prohibits race-based hair discrimination, to have a school punish a black student for having dreadlocks that actually matched their original dress and grooming code of the school, because they said that your hair couldn't come below your eyebrows. And then so he just put his locks up so that they weren't below his eyebrows.
Yep.
And so they changed the code so that it if your hair is down, it can't be below your eyebrows. And yeah, according to a Texas judge, state law banning race-based hair discrimination, no, that's cool. You're allowed to do that. So fuck that judge. What
the
an asshole.
school that happened to here in Massachusetts is actually here in my hometown, and it's how we got that law. That's actually being enforced correctly, I believe, so far.
From what I've heard, at least.
But it happened to multiple students at the charter school here, of course, a charter school. And we ended up with our own Crown Act that, hopefully continues to help solve that.
Yeah. It's just mind-boggling that they even passed the law to do it, and the judge is still just like, nah.
Indeed.
Little older story from late last month that I wanted to bring up, but I don't think I'd had the chance to yet, was once again the president of the UAW, Sean Fain, was a boss. And
I've been enjoying his last year so much.
Right? But he just came right out and openly stated that they intend to organize a general strike for May Day 2028. So general strike of May Day 2028, I guess. I'm on board for this. We all should be. We all should be. We have not had a general strike in America in all too long on any sort of real scale.
Wonderful shit. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the Alabama fun stuff.
Yeah, the Alabama Supreme Court deciding that frozen embryos for IVF count as children, and thereby, de facto ending IVF in the state, because no IVF clinic can operate like that.
Of course,
it's not even remotely viable. And not only that, but the Chief Justice of the court, he didn't write the majority opinion, but he wrote a concurring opinion. His opinion openly, it was a whole bunch of Bible crap. Openly just theocracy.
That's what they want.
Yeah. And that, to be clear, Tom Parker does not belong on any bench. He does not belong eligible to serve as a judge at all. I would question whether he should be eligible to serve on a jury, since he apparently cannot impartially separate his religion from the law. So, screw him, screw everyone that sided with him, screw everyone that looks like him. This guy needs to just go the hell away. What is wrong with him? Like, screw the rest of those justices, but like that's just like, he makes the rest of them look almost tolerable. That is disgusting. I mean, they're all disgusting, but he somehow managed to be worse. And, somehow I'm not even sure he's quite the worst judge I have to talk about today. Because there is also U.S. District Judge Cormac Carney in Orange County. And you see U.S. District Judge Cormac Carney dismissed charges against members of the Rise Above movement, the violent white supremacists, because they were supposedly being selectively prosecuted while, quote, far left extremist groups such as Antifa, end quote, were not. These guys, like, not only were they getting in trouble for, all the many crimes that they commit, which they were only getting in trouble for a small portion of, but,
Right.
but like, this isn't like, oh, there were people, fighting and the cops arrested only one side in this case. No, like, they were like told to stop assaulting people and they started assaulting the cops. The arrest warrant cited one of the offenders, or I guess accused, but no, he's an offender, Robert Rundo. Whether he is actually convicted on these charges or not, he is a violent criminal, and should be in prison. Also, he fled to Romania to get away from the charges.
Of course.
But anyway, like, his arrest warrant cited that when the police told him to stop beating a defenseless person, he assaulted the police officer, like punched the cop in the head.
My issue with that is I will never speak out against violence against the oppressors. So, ACAB all day.
Sure. But like, it's a little beyond like, it's selective prosecution where there was like two groups fighting each other and then like the cops only arrest one group. That would be selective prosecution. No,
absolutely.
This guy was told to stop assaulting people in front of the cops and started attacking the cops. Like, of course they're going to arrest him.
Yep.
How is it, like, calling that selective prosecution is just like, what a garbage judge. And this is a federal judge. He is on the bench for life. He ought to be, impeached and removed, but obviously that would require Republicans to take a stand against neo-Nazis and
yeah, they won't attack their own.
Why would they attack their base like that?
Indeed.
And, while we're on the topic of judges, we had a couple things. About Clarence Thomas. Because one thing is that The Nation put out a interesting story that makes a very good point. I mean, the title is reasonably descriptive, I think. Clarence Thomas broke the law. Why is he not being prosecuted?
Simple.
Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, he unambiguously broke the law. The Supreme Court Code of Conduct has no teeth whatsoever, but the Ethics in Government Act is a federal law that requires all covered officials, which explicitly includes Supreme Court justices, to disclose gifts on forms for that purpose known as Office of Government Ethics forms. And they have to file a full and complete statement with regards to the identity of the source, a brief description, and the value of all gifts aggregating more than minimal value or $250 received from any source other than a relative of the reporting individual, except that any food, lodging, or entertainment received as a personal hospitality of an individual need not be reported. And personal hospitality is defined as hospitality extended for a non-business purpose by an individual, not a corporation or organization, at the personal residence of the individual or the individual's family, or on property or facilities owned by that individual or that individual's family. And we know that, he was gifted all these vacations, jet flights, VIP passes to sporting events, all these other things that don't fall under that. And he didn't put them on the forms. Like that is, those gifts occurred. Everyone acknowledges those gifts occurred. They weren't listed on the forms. That's a crime. Why isn't he being charged? But there's a funnier story involving Clarence Thomas today, because John Oliver did a video offering to give Clarence Thomas $1 million a year. I say
and a $2.4 million what do you call it?
Motor coach.
Motor coach.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, that thing looked amazing.
I'm sorry. I said a video. It was from last week tonight. Of course. But it was very funny because after he put out this episode, the right wing started losing their minds even more than they usually do, to try and claim that he was, this is bribery, this is illegal, blah, blah, blah. And it is very funny because he addressed this like in the actual skit. Like the premise of the skit was, how is it legal for me to be doing this? I don't know. It apparently is. And yeah, obviously, like every lawyer that's looked at it is like, no, like there is no way on earth anyone would ever successfully prosecute him for this, because like there is no law that this applies to. Turns out, like even with as little applies to bribing Supreme Court justices in the first place, it's very hard to argue that someone is corruptly bribing an official when the entire purpose of the payment has nothing to do with their official actions and is to get them to stop being an official. And
yep.
Then, on top of that, the fact that it's a comedy show, like it would be very hard it would be hard to find a prosecutor that would take it seriously, even if they thought like there was a crime there. And it seems like a whole bunch of lawyers have looked at it and been like, yeah, we can't find any crime there. And I feel pretty confident that HBO's lawyers looked pretty closely at this. So like all these people getting mad about it and trying to call it bribery and thinking that he's like going to go to prison or should go to prison for it, like, way to make his point for him.
Ugh.
How are they this dumb?
I mean, it is tough to understand how people that stupid get into positions where we've heard what they've said.
Yeah.
Like,
also, how did they not like? I don't know.
How do they survive their teenage years being that stupid?
Right? How did they not drown in a shower trying to figure out where the water came from?
Right.
I don't understand.
So yeah, good times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we should make a mention of the fact that the Kids Online Safety Act is back, got more co-sponsors, made some minimal changes. It is still just as terrible as ever. It will still be used specifically to attack LGBTQ people and, basically any minority, as long as Republicans are in power or have any influence whatsoever. And for some reason, there's a bunch of liberal Democrats that are co-sponsors. So even if your senator is not absolute trash, You might want to talk to their office about not supporting this if they have, any decency whatsoever.
Indeed. One thing I do want to say to chat is with this new setup going and everything else that I've gotten in place over the last few weeks, I'm hoping in the next few days to set it up where one of the screens will look just like the one that has me and Mac and then my screen, but have his screen so we can have his screen up for some of these parts of the chat. I should have that in place for next Thursday, now that I've got some of the other stuff figured out over there over the last couple days. Sending his screen over is going to go over NDI to start, and we're going to see how well that plays with the bandwidth. I mean, it's a 10 gig connection. It would be down to NDI being unoptimized for it not to look fine. So we're going to see about that. Okay. Huh. Oh boy. Really? Why? Why? Oh, why?
That's a good question.
Interesting. Yep. So visit this link, read the indictment, then read our legal filings. Yeah. So we're going to do that screen so you all can see what Matthew's pointing out here. Yeah, I just don't understand what this has to do with anti-Semitism. I mean,
the stuff they leaked is, I can see, but like, I don't know. Maybe there's something in the documents that makes that more clear. That does seem like a weird.
Is that just a good keyword today to draw more people to your legal fund?
Maybe.
What is he using for his funding? So Venmo or PayPal. Okay. Mock Session LLC. What is that? Is it nothing because the website doesn't come up? Yeah, this website does nothing. Huh. It's just company owned by him. So he has the legal stuff going into an LLC. I mean, that's smart. Not as dumb as some of these indictments would let you believe. But yeah, I don't get that at all. That makes no sense to me. I do not know. Maybe we get a response. We will see. What else are we talking about?
So, out of Arizona, we have the Maricopa County attorney, a Republican, who has instructed her staff not to cooperate with requests from Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg to extradite an accused murderer because she didn't trust him to keep him in custody.
Okay.
So we have a district attorney saying she's just going to refuse extradition to another state because of, political bullshit. Because, an accused murderer is going to be let out. Yeah, that's definitely how the New York City justice system operates. Like they're going after these, places that decided they were going to stop holding people for like low-level crimes. Not like, yeah, occasionally murderers do get or accused murderers get like released on bail or something everywhere. Like that's a thing that happens. It's not about New York City. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you can find plenty of examples of it happening in Maricopa County. So this is just purely political bullshit from someone who is like, I don't understand. I am reasonably I have a reasonable degree of confidence that that's like not actually constitutionally allowed. Like the whole full faith and credit thing, and extraditions are like kind of mentioned in the Constitution.
Kinda, yeah.
Like, but just what a dumb waste of everyone's time to be doing that in the first place. And everyone in Maricopa County should be ashamed.
Yeah, for many reasons.
Oh, yeah, for many reasons, but very specifically about this.
Yeah. Utter insanity.
Then, let's go with a fun one, because we had the decision from the case of Tesla shareholders suing to block the $55 billion compensation package that Elon Musk had awarded himself.
You mean Adrian Dittman?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't dead name people. But regardless, yeah, so we had the decision there, and the courts went, yeah, no, this was absolutely ridiculous. No. No. And then in response, Musk went on, Twitter to whine about you shouldn't incorporate in the state of Delaware, because Delaware, the business haven, has too many ways for to protect investors, basically.
There are only two places you should incorporate, and that's Delaware and specifically Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you incorporate anywhere else, you dumb.
There's some other states that have also been changing their policies to make themselves more appealing.
More appealing, but they haven't caught up with Delaware for how appealing they are in terms of everything you know to be good about Delaware, or to New Mexico for how easy it is to be completely anonymous and own the company.
Which makes it even funnier because I do believe it was his statement. His actual statement was, never incorporate your company in the state of Delaware. I recommend incorporating in Nevada or Texas if you prefer shareholders to decide matters.
Wow.
So he didn't even get the right states.
No.
Oh, it's very funny.
Good times. Mm-hmm. I have a few more to talk about.
All right.
Let's go back to my screen here. I'm going to bring up this one, which is, an important one. It looks like Transnistria is going to ask to join Russia. It is a breakaway piece of Moldova. It's this red piece here with good old Tiraspol in it. And it looks like they would like to be part of Russia, which, they've been basically that for a long time, but actually doing it is a problem. The problem is that Transnistria specifically has the largest stockpile of weapons left over from the USSR. For some strange reason, it has these, and they're maintained enough that there's enough to easily arm everyone there and anyone who comes that wants to be armed. providing a new front to Ukraine, which would have to move troops out of, say, Donbas, which would not be a good thing because you don't want to leave a hole in that defense there. So this is a problem. 40,000 people could be mobilized. So we don't want this.
Now, although I don't know, I don't believe that Ukraine would actually need to withdraw troops from active fronts. They would probably withdraw some of the forces from northern Ukraine that are monitoring Belarus or some of the ones farther west.
See you, Matthew.
So it probably would. It would not be. It would not be a positive development, but I don't think it would be. I don't think it would actually have that large a impact on Ukraine's strategic situation. I would say that the bigger risk there is that it would make it very likely for the conflict to spill over into Moldova, the rest of Moldova.
Which is the point.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a thing that could spread war to more of Europe.
The Russians have been pretty clear about, hey, Moldova is going to be ours.
Yeah, they've already tried coup attempts.
And they've got enough weaponry in Transnistria to put up a fight.
Yeah. I don't know that the big problem. I don't think they'd be able to do much in the way of attacking Moldova to a large degree, but they also would be able to hold off Moldova. So
the only positive to come from this, that could come from this, is in Tiraspol. For those who don't know, Weave, the neo-Nazi, who helps run Daily Stormer and all that fun stuff. That's where his property is, including the property that he uses as rental property to make money off of, in Tiraspol. If it could get there and, his property could get destroyed as part of this, that would be hilarious.
That would be really funny.
That's the only positive I see coming out of that. But that was piece one that I wanted to mention. Piece two is interesting. Tyler Perry puts $800 million studio expansion on hold after seeing OpenAI's Sora. Jobs are going to be lost. Now, I watched all the Sora videos, and I've watched all the ones because Sam Altman actually went on Twitter for a while and was just allowing people to feed him prompts, and he was prompting and then posting the videos. And it is holy crap. I mean, as they play with that and as Stability's new version of that same level of technology comes out, there's definitely going to be jobs lost. This shit is getting too good. But the fact that now Tyler Perry is putting an expansion on hold is kind of crazy. Like, we're at that point where jobs are getting lost because people are scared of what's coming. That's insane. Who would have thought this even 4 years ago? I mean, the pace that this is going at is utterly insane. Wow. This one blows my mind. Like, as I've followed all of this so much, the idea that AI has gone from the Will Smith eating spaghetti video a year ago to this is mind-blowing to me. And for those who don't remember the Will Smith eating spaghetti AI video, I'm going to show you that video.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
This was state of the art a year ago. And now we're at the point where they're so good that Hollywood is scared. That's kind of insane. The next thing I would like to talk about is, there's a big court battle going on where Craig Wright is trying to prove that he is Satoshi Nakamoto, so he can then take control of Bitcoin, the copyright over the white paper, and all this other fun stuff, and force the Bitcoin devs to give him some of the initial wallets, which are full of billions of dollars or millions of dollars, whatever, right? We all know it's not him. We all know he's a lying fraudster. There are some pretty good ideas about who it is. Interesting in this court case is that he has a lot of other court cases because he's very litigious against all kinds of people, where this court case proving that he is Satoshi will mean he gets to go and have all these other court cases go very well in his favor. If this one proves he isn't, at least in the UK justice system's mind, then a lot of those will fall apart, which is what we want. Because even though I'm not a crypto bro, I think I have in one account $25 left over from something that I had to buy last year. And I think it's only $25 because the massive rise in Bitcoin in the last 6 months. I think it was $11 a year ago or something. Because I don't have crypto, right? And but I'm following this because I do still care about like this part of it. It is a unique thing. It does need to be allowed to live on. The technology of the blockchain and how it works is actually important if used correctly. It is a space ripe with scammers and everyone else, but the technology itself has real promise to do a lot of cool things. I don't know that a lot of that has been recognized yet or really built yet, but there is some cool shit here if all the scammers would just please go the fuck away. One of them being Gregg Wright. What's interesting today is in court, Adam Back, who for the longest time, a lot of people has said might actually be Satoshi, and he's denied up and down because he's not. He shared with the court, and they went into evidence, emails from 2008 and 2009 where he was talking with Satoshi. And so those are now public record, and they're emails we've never seen before. And so we now have them. And in this thread on Twitter, you can go read these things where Satoshi was talking to him about the white paper, about the fact that Bitcoin will be coming out shortly. And Adam was like, because of questions Satoshi had, you should go read the B-Money paper. You should go read, what's the other one? I think it was Mint something, Micro Mint paper. And he's leading him to these other papers that help expand upon what's going on. And Adam is important in the whole infrastructure of this because he doesn't really latch onto it at this point. He just kind of has this interaction and then talks a little about it publicly, like that's interesting, and then goes away. He doesn't get deeply into the Bitcoin infrastructure until like 2012. Then he really like dives in and kind of does a lot that makes him a major contributor. The proof of work algorithm that really made Bitcoin kind of work in the grand scale of things when it scaled up and got large was his work. So having him come on the stand and say, I don't believe for a minute that Gregg Wright was, and here's Gregg Wright's arguments, and here's where I actually talked to Satoshi, and they disprove every argument this man is saying, is really helpful in proving that once again, Gregg Stephen Wright, Dr. Wright, whatever the fuck he wants to be called, is a fraudster and a scammer. And I like it every time new evidence comes out proving that fact. That makes me happy because I like seeing fraudsters and scammers like that just go down, especially litigious ones. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Alistair. That is how I see it. I think monetarily, there is definitely it being a digital store of value is a thing. Sure. The millions of shit and altcoins that happen and all the pump and dumps that happen are fucking stupid. Like, every time I see this over at good old Twitter, and I go over to the Explore and Trending, every morning I'll wake up and this number one or number two, like, just check. Every morning will be a $sign coin name. And I go into those threads sometimes and point out to people that by the time it's trending here and everyone's telling you to buy, you've already missed the pump part of this. Now the dump is happening. Don't get in. If it is trending number one on Twitter, it has been talked enough now that everyone's just trying to dump what they got on the rise. You're done. If you see it trending and then buy in, you're the one left holding the bag. Stop being stupid. All of that needs to go away. That's what I want to see disappear. And I do think the blockchain built out as some kind of a proof of ownership, of proof of authorship, of just proof of things is a smart idea. But I don't think anyone's built out the right one yet. Yeah, sure. I mean, same thing also for the video. Absolutely. It applies to both, right? I mean, that cycle is kind of normal in all technology. We've been watching it for a while. Gonna go back to me and Mac here. We've been going for a while. I think what I want to do is play the daily games at the end of the stream that we like to play. Invite good old QG Pennyworth from the chat, who's actually in the other room, to come on out here and get in a chair and play these games with us.
Be smarter than you?
And always be smarter than me, as I have told you many, many times. So I think we are going to just start playing some games. And of course, we start with Wordle, because, you know, we do. And one day, this will happen.
Never.
That's going to be the word one day.
Never be. You should bring Mac over here behind you because, like, he's got the delay over there.
It's not that bad.
Also, you have us on the screen with just the two of us at the moment. We can't. No one can see.
Nobody can't even see your penis.
There it is.
You're not sharing. There we go.
All right, everyone. So we've got this right now. What could it be?
You don't have T in your set.
Not yet,
Nope.
no.
Could be death.
I would like that. Then that works.
Would have been good.
The E and the A is right. The H is still wrong.
I mean, that does narrow things down significantly, though.
And the H can only be the first letter then, really. It's hard to have that H be that second to last letter.
No.
It's not bad. We'll find out if an E is at the end, too. Oh, there we go. Ta-da. Whew.
Bridgewater's always good.
Indeed, indeed. We got there. All right, let's go to Worldle.
Come on.
Just say it. This isn't a come on. This isn't a... Just say the word. We're playing it together.
This is one. This one is Norway.
Yes.
Uh-huh. I know, but I want you to just to say it out loud. We're playing together. You can do that. Okay, so Norway, neighbors.
Finland. I wonder what that giant one.
Couldn't tell ya.
One is.
I don't know. Is it China?
Yeah, I think it might be.
Good old Finland, Sweden, and Russia as the neighbors. What is the capital of Norway?
Norway's Oslo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the flag of Norway. That one. I know that because I watch way too much cycling. Languages. I'm going to guess that English is one of them.
Seems fairly likely.
Is Norwegian a language?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Look at that. That was easy. And then what is this? Say, my name is in English. Well, I wonder how hard that is. Yep. And there is the Norwegian. Ta-da! All right. So made it all the way through that one. Good times. How about Tradle? What do we got here?
An island.
187 million total on their exports. We got fish, calcium phosphates, cars, low voltage protection equipment,
Non-fillet frozen.
enzymes. All right, so
It's not a tiny island if it's 187 million.
yeah,
I mean, it's not.
it's not a
big
gigantic one
No,
either.
No.
I mean, it doesn't
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see any way that would not.
We're going
be.
Kiribati just because I like Kiribati.
Okay. Where even is it?
It's one of these small Micronesia islands, which I think is hilarious because they've got 4 main towns. Well, it's 3 islands, but they've got 4 main towns. And you know what the name of their towns are? Do you remember this one? The names of the towns in Kiribati
Bucket or something?
are no. Poland is the name of one of their towns. Paris, London, and Banana.
That's great.
Those are the names of the 4 major towns in Kiribati. I know this because someone pointed this out as hilarious on Twitter, and the actual official Kiribati Twitter account responded to it saying, "You aren't invited to the island." And I thought that was hilarious as hell. Like, whoever's
fantastic
running their
response.
social is funny. So it is that way, which puts us near...
Sri Lanka.
Okay, we'll go Sri Lanka.
Always Sri Lanka.
Because
I don't
way
think
too
this
far
one is
that
Sri
way.
Lanka, but that'll give us a clue as to where we're looking.
How about Papua New Guinea? No, it's out there. It's out there in the ocean. Let's see
Gotta
here.
be
Is that New Zealand?
no.
No, because New Zealand's like down from Papua, right? Like,
Also, New Zealand would have a much larger export total.
Oh, yeah, way larger
Frozen
than that.
fish would not be it.
Yeah, no, I'm
which stupid island is this? Is this Christmas Island?
Maybe. It's possible.
Whoa, wait, what?
no.
Okay, you know what? Can I go? No, I guess Galapagos is part of Chile there, right?
Yeah.
What the hell island is this, chat?
Cars. They do delivery trucks. Calcium phosphates.
It's the Falklands.
It's not the
I know, it's
No.
like a million miles away.
It would be sheep. Sheep would be the not top one.
Oh, it's true. Actually, wool is their big export. I remember that one because it's come.
Yeah, that's the problem. And
Yeah, I don't know what it
someone
is,
that
so I'm just
produces
going to say Japan.
Cars?
Nauru.
Yeah, I would know.
Wow, I would not have guessed that Nauru did
Wow.
that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that,
mean, I wouldn't have guessed Nauru had 187 million in exports.
Probably those
I could
are
believe that.
expensive.
And the fish and the calcium phosphates, that tracks. But I am surprised that cars and delivery trucks were the next ones.
What movie is this?
Superman.
No.
Didn't think so. The goats.
What?
The men who stare at goats. Is that what that's from? Maybe.
It's either burn after reading.
I don't think this is Burn After Reading, is it? Wow. Good guess. Yeah, they don't even have the goats one in there. Well done.
I don't know. I mix up those two. But yeah.
France is definitely not it. China's closer. Japan is not. Russia's farther than China.
Sri Lanka again. It's not. It was Sri Lanka like yesterday.
Singapore, nope. How exactly does this work?
I don't know. Indonesia.
What?
I'm just like,
No.
Could be like.
Two stands.
Oh. Wow, I was like 2 guesses behind.
What is happening?
I don't understand how any of this can be true.
What does it say if you guess Taiwan?
Taiwan is not the closest.
So like 1,370.
What's that one there?
I mean, I'm
What,
just gonna,
Indonesia or Malaysia?
well, Malaysia's way over there.
Yeah.
Papua New Guinea.
I don't fucking know. It'll correct me.
Okay.
What?
It's this fucking thing. No.
It's not any of this because look, Malaysia's farther away.
Do Australia then.
Yeah.
What? Okay, what's down? What's there?
Well, it's like the other half of this island.
Yeah.
Tasmania?
No, Tasmania
No.
is down south of us.
It doesn't even know it. What is right here? We went through these once where we got a few of them, but I don't remember now.
Micronesia's in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Everybody's like
I know.
a million miles away from anything.
I just wanted to guess it because it's funny. Okay, well, the goal of this is to learn things. So I do think it's one of these.
Philippines?
That's what I said. No, Philippines isn't closer than Indonesia.
It's got to be what, like somewhere around the Coral Sea? I'm not sure who that would
What is
be.
the other half of this island? I bet it's that.
Probably.
We are going to give up and go look at that area. Because again, the point of this one is to actually learn things. So let's learn what the hell this is.
Timor.
Oh, East Timor.
Yeah. Cooler.
What?
Yeah, you've got to try Micronesia at this point.
It's way out there. Like, yeah, remember we did Kiribati. It's way over there.
We already did Papua New Guinea.
Yeah,
we did Papua
do
New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea. Oh, right. I forgot Micronesia was that far out. I thought it was closer in.
It could be Brunei.
That's true.
No, because Brunei is bordering.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, this one's hard.
Solomon Islands?
Did you do Christmas Island?
Yeah. Did we do? I don't think we did Christmas Island on this one. I think we did it only on the last one.
Oh, yeah. We did do that on the last one. Marshall, what? I mean, I'll click yes just to, do the thing, but does it not know Christmas Island?
Is it Costa Rica?
No.
At this point, I would accept Costa Rica.
Huh.
Cocos? The Helium? That's kind of closer to.
It definitely doesn't know that one. Is it Palau?
Oh.
Yep. It was Palau. I would never have guessed Palau in a million years, chat.
Yeah. Yeah, that is one I would have not gotten.
Okay, well, they made that one hard.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna play the fun one where we get to watch a second of video. So here we go.
The thing? Oh, there was ice.
The quality of that was so bad that I have no idea what was going on.
Yeah, I got very little from that.
How do they not have spies like us in their database? Seriously?
Wow.
It's the thing. It's the only movie that's ever had snow in it.
Yeah, obviously.
Was it?
I think it was.
It's gonna be the thing.
Yeah.
And you won't have guessed it. I will make fun of you.
That is Kurt Russell, and it is the thing. God damn it.
You literally told me that I'm smarter than you, and I tell you what it is. And then you don't type
I'm
it.
very clear. She is the smart one in the relationship, just so, people understand this. All right, what is this movie?
Oh,
Is this Jersey Boys?
no. I can see that.
It looks like it, right?
Could be.
No. Why was that the scene they took? Come on.
What?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. That's him right there.
Okay. Oh, all right.
This was one of their early hackathon things. The Social Network was the answer to that one. How about TV? What is the TV show?
Over.
Uh,
I don't know.
Not a clue.
Supermarket Sweep. It's not that, but what's that one in the stupid store? Superstore?
Yeah, that's it.
This looks like the lighting in it. Yeah.
What?
I've never even seen the show before, but that looks like the lighting in that show.
There are a lot of shows that use that lighting.
Wow.
That was a good guess.
Absolutely not.
Well done.
I've never even seen a single episode of it, but that's the lighting from that show. I can't tell you why. That's just how it is.
All right.
Oh, hey.
Ooh.
What part of the world that's from? The broccoli tree.
I'm going to guess it's South Africa.
I think it's Madagascar, but okay.
I know.
There's a couple other places nearby it could be.
North.
Yeah. Tanzania.
A little farther than that, I would think.
Africa isn't a country.
Okay, so it is still farther north.
Somalia?
What?
It's just north.
Wait, how far north?
Not too far north.
So like Ethiopia?
Well, no, north of Somalia. Well, if you want to be totally right
yeah,
about the
'cause-
current state of the world, is Somaliland.
Right.
But they
right.
still call that Somalia. Then there's Djibouti. Then there's Eritrea.
Yeah, and if we were talking Ethiopia, it wouldn't be almost straight north from Somalia. It's off a little ways.
So is this talking about, because Eritrea borders Djibouti, this could be Yemen,
Yeah, there could be any.
because that's straight across the water.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh? Would
Yeah.
not have guessed that was a picture from Yemen.
Yeah, either would I. But like if you're going,
Yeah, no, like
if
yeah,
you're
that-
going to the right, only
Yeah.
that far of Eritrea, your only choice is Yemen.
Yeah.
Landmarks in Yemen.
Oh boy.
Well,
I mean,
I
that
can see two that. I can see three. It's definitely the
Oh.
pool, right?
it's what?
The one with the pool. Yeah. No.
I mean, I clicked it because you're smarter than me, but I didn't believe that for a minute.
Okay. I'll take it back.
Okay,
It's not that one.
it's that one.
Yeah.
What is the name of that thing?
Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Okay, what is this? What is the capital of Yemen? Yemen. I don't actually know the capital city of Yemen. Is it Houthi Town? It is not Houthi Town.
I know I've heard it. I should know it. And I got nothing.
It's Paris.
Very not Paris.
London? Is it banana? No, they won't even let me guess banana.
Wow. Rude.
How dare they? Is it Moscow? Do they own it yet? Nope. Sana? Ah. I mean, I know where it is. I remember that on the map. I just could not remember the damn name of it for the life of me.
Yeah.
Which city in Yemen is this photo taken in? Not that one. There we go. Got some of them. That was in Aden. Where was that? That was where taken. All right, we're going to play Guess the Game.
Oh, I hate this.
What game is this?
I hate this.
It's GoldenEye. Actually, no, it's Golden Axe. Why not? I mean, we're getting it wrong the first time anyways. The hell is that?
It's a phone on a desk.
Metacritic score 74% on Dreamcast.
Dreamcast. Deus Ex? I don't think that's right, but maybe that era-ish. Looking at the...
We're just going to do good old Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, no, don't got it. I don't know what this is.
Yeah,
Dino Crisis.
Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that one.
Good old Capcom. All right, how about travel? We have to go from Gabon to Western Sahara. Damn.
From Gabon to
Western Sahara is entirely bordered by Morocco, is that right?
I think.
By what?
Morocco.
Are you guys sure about that? That seems very wrong. Morocco's up there.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that.
Okay, yeah, no. No worries.
Yeah.
Algeria's at least to this side.
Yeah, yeah.
And it gets us pretty far.
Mali. Oh, okay.
No, Chad's right.
I think you still need Mali.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, it doesn't touch.
Nope. I'm done.
What's right here?
David was right there.
Oh, yeah, I don't anymore because I've got this connected already.
Yeah, you just
But I do kind of want to know what it is. What is right here?
is that Niger?
I thought this was Niger.
No.
Yeah, that is Niger. Okay, then we've got to go south of Chad.
You just need Nigeria. Do the connect down.
And that's,
Okay, you got one more.
it wants us to go from Chad to here.
Okay, well, it can be difficult then.
It's not that. It's not. There's Sierra over there. There's the Ivory Coast in the middle here. Is it Ghana? No, that's in the middle there too. We are running out of guesses, so we are going to cheat. It is whatever that is. We know all the countries. I don't care about that. I just want to see the initials. What is it? Yep. Cameroon. There we go.
A little bit cheating.
Cameroon, Nigeria, Niger, Algeria. I knew Algeria was one of them because it does that big move there. And we got it in the end, even if we had to use their hints. Okay. Connexo. I don't know why you want to do that. All right. This one's simple. You have to make 4 groups of 4 that make some kind of sense.
No, the specific kind of sense that they picked. You can make things that make sense that aren't their pick.
Yes.
They do it on purpose because they hate us. That's a lot of people names. That's too many full names to just do people names. Okay, Jermaine.
Okay, they're fucking with
No,
us.
just Jermaine, Jackie, Cheetah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackie.
They're,
Yeah.
what? Who's Jackie?
Well,
I mean, there's these 4. Or not tier, I meant Freddie. There is a Freddie Jackson. He's just not one of the Jacksons.
okay.
There's Tito Jackson. There's Michael Jackson. There's Jermaine Jackson. Yeah, Chucky and Freddy make sense.
Yeah, Michael makes sense with that.
True.
Yeah.
We just need a fourth.
I mean, the Wayans have been in all the Scary Movie
Yeah, I was
parodies.
thinking Marlon maybe because of that, but
Notch turned out to be a Nazi. He's scary. And,
yeah.
I don't think that's what they're going with.
this one's tough.
Yeah.
Ferret cat. Well, right, did they have?
Yep, that one was from chat. Common pets. Okay, what do we got? I still just see that as having to, like,
I think that's just them screwing with you.
right? They do that a lot.
Yeah.
This one has unlimited guesses.
Right, but if you just like do every permutation, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Well, I can't see it being any of the others, so. Okay. So Chucky, Freddy, maybe Michael, Jackie? Dollar store? Dollar, like, some of these are like something word.
Yeah.
Notch is bothering me.
Yeah.
Right.
This one's tough. Last couple of these we've gotten through decently. And tier.
Oh, tier, notch, dog, and dollar. They're all top that.
Top, yep. There you go. Mac with the find. Okay. This one.
Okay, Pamela, Jackie, Marlon, Freddy? Maybe Jermaine with that set instead of Freddy?
I'm just so like done. Huh. Well, we got one. What is it? Famous horror killers. Pamela?
Pamela. You don't watch enough horror.
I don't watch horror movies, chat. Tell me who Pamela is.
From a horror movie? I don't know that one. Or I'm not placing it.
Marlon was one of the 5?
Yep, and Jackie was there too.
Huh. Okay. Well, there we go. We learn things every day.
Today we learned you don't watch any horror movies.
I do not watch horror movies. They're fucking stupid. All right. Connect trade.
Okay.
Kind of like Tradle, but now we're doing a make 4 groups. And we got to figure out what exports Panama, Guatemala, Tanzania, and Croatia
We
have.
can't see the left column because of the
Oh, yeah.
picture in picture.
Can you bring it out like to there? Yeah, that's good.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so these seem to go together.
Yeah. If you do the fresh fish, then that puts them on an island. Probably not. But, okay. Nutmeg, fish, bananas. The nutmeg
Where?
over there. Nutmeg, mace, and cardamom.
Okay. You have to say the whole damn thing. So nutmeg, knit men's shirts, and knit women's shirts definitely go together.
It might be the knit stuff goes with bananas.
That could make some sense.
Because that could be Panama. Or Guatemala, potentially.
Oh, okay. But you've got the yellow now.
legumes, knit, and nutmeg. So that gets one of them off. Who is that? Guatemala. The knit cloves, legumes, nutmeg, mace, and cardamons. All right.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
Let's go for things like that. Nope.
That got you the red.
Oh, we do know the red now, don't we? Non-fillet, passenger, copper, or bananas. Right? That's it. Yep. Panama. So Panama is known for passenger and cargo ships.
yeah, that
That
I
tracks.
believe, but I'm surprised that
That's
copper
going to
ore-
hurt if the canal keeps going the way it's going.
Yeah.
What happened this time?
I mean, it doesn't have any water in it.
Oh. It's
It's a problem, right?
a problem.
One off. What was I off? Sawn wood?
That gives you all the blue ones, though. Sawnwood, prefab buildings, electricity, and net socks.
I see. Yeah.
And what is this? Croatia. So Croatia's wood, prefab buildings, electricity, and knit socks. And then here we go. Tanzania. Tanzania is cloves, raw copper, dried legumes, and other oily seeds. All right. And now it is crossword time.
Do you want me to solve the whole thing for you?
I just don't care. You act like that's a thing. I just play. Just
The word's on.
yeah. Well, I know that. I just don't. I literally did way too much gambling in my life. Is it sound or noise? It's 2 down. Golfer's warning. Yeah, okay, it is sound. No, because noise still works. What is 3 down? Apple found on Apple Music. What?
Uh,
Yeah, what's 9 across? 122 is the record for humans.
It's noise.
Oh, yeah.
5 down is SL.
Like that?
Yeah, because 5 down starts with SL.
Fittingly, it shares the same first 2 letters with slow and slimy.
It's slug.
yeah.
Yep, there we go. Indeed. What's 6 down?
Else.
On TV. Else. On Instagram only, though.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think
I think you know that one.
that could be there, and then that goes there. Yay! We solved it. On TV was correct. Thank you for the assist. All right, so that's that. And now we go to, where is it? Time Guesser. You can see the whole thing? Yes, you can. All right.
West of Scotland, Trustee Savings Bank.
Yeah, I wonder where they are.
They might be east of Scotland. Sorry.
Right. The question was where in Scotland?
I mean, Glasgow would be the obvious choice. That might not be right, but it is the obvious choice.
Yeah. So we're going to put it in Glasgow. Now, what is this? I mean, obviously there's some 60s and 70s cars there. But this design right here is like mid to late 70s, even
maybe
early some 80s.
Yeah.
The clothing is late 70s.
I would assume them to do shit like this at this point.
Yeah, I don't know that I could necessarily make a definitive claim about the clothing.
I'm going to go with 78.
That sounds good.
Yeah, seems fair.
80
Yeah.
and 3 kilometers
Not
for good
bad.
old 9733. I felt really let down when we found out from some of the people who made it through all of the Cicada 3301 games there, and they ended up on a forum that ended up fizzling out, and they never really figured out why they were there and didn't get any, like, it just became nothing. Like, I really wanted that to be something bigger than that. Panakoken? Poffridge?
Puffy.
Feels like Nordic.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. The clothing is all very, very 70s.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I would actually speculate that's earlier 70s rather than later, although I could certainly be off on that.
I don't know, where would you put it?
That's a tough one. I'm not seeing any decisive clues so far.
Not bad.
I'm going to put it in Copenhagen in 1970.
That feels early.
It does feel a little early, but I don't have a good, have a good like better guess.
Netherlands. Still close enough on both.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, those are streetcars.
Good old trolleys. I like it.
Indeed.
That says Portugal. Doesn't mean Portugal. Oh, Lisbon. Bank of Lisbon.
Banco Lisboa. Does...
Down there, there's another sign.
Yeah. Whee! Yeah, this definitely does feel 20s. I think you're right there.
Yeah.
22 maybe?
Yeah, that feels good.
Oh!
But it was Lisbon.
Yeah. Off by only meters. Not bad. All right, what do we got here? This feels very Italian to me.
You've got some signs in the back. And we might be able to read some of the papers.
There's a sign about midway up on the right. It's like a business sign that's like wrapping around, but it might have something that we can actually.
It ends with auto. Oh,
Auto.
Ardor.
Yeah, that's.
But I can't read the rest of the letters. Can we get anything on the newspaper?
Oh, I saw something on the top of the building in the back on the right. It said Florida. So this might be Cuba. or
Hotel
something.
Florida.
Yeah, this could be Cuba before problems, or it could be the one of the areas down there in South Florida that is heavily Cubano.
This does not look like Florida to me.
No, Cuba feels good. Florida does not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, have we ever had those style license plates in the U.S.?
Who knows?
Somebody knows.
So, someone I'm sure does.
Yeah, I mean, there is little Cuba down there, but
I think this is regular kind.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree.
All right. No, that's too early.
why?
None of the men are wearing hats on a single one. You have to put it after 1960.
Absolutely not. This isn't after 1960. Every single vehicle here is way older than that.
Not a single man is wearing a hat outside, outdoors.
Okay, you know what?
JFK
1961.
changed hats. Pay attention.
It was also in Madrid, so you were wrong there too.
Yeah.
I was right about the date, though.
Well,
You were
then,
right about the date.
why are we looking at Larry David? Where's Elmo in this shot? Oh, Panavision equipment.
Oh,
these
yeah.
are- movie set, which means we can't trust
It's definitely not a movie set.
No?
On
No.
location.
Who uses those kind of cameras for a TV show?
No,
That
it's-
guy.
It was on location.
Okay.
Now, that's not what he looks like today.
Yeah. That's reasonable.
Whoa. 98.
Wow.
All right, we did horrible today. We normally try and break 40,000.
That was bad.
That was our
That was
worst
rough.
our worst day of that in a while. Okay. We are going to go to connections now. Similar vibe, you know, the whole new game thing where we make 4 batches here. So 4 of 4. So what do we got?
You have
Growl, whine, bark, howl.
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
All right. Font and source root. Font source root. You do Cradle, but I don't.
Yeah, it's kind of where
Cradle.
I think
yeah.
Cradle works. Yeah. There we go.
Chapter, branch, wing,
Yes.
farm.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah.
Good one.
I don't know. I don't have to know because the last
It's
one-
going to tell us.
Yep.
What is it? Colors with their
Oh, I hate that.
first letters
I hate when they do that.
changed.
Oh.
Blue, brown, yellow, green.
Yeah, that is dumb
Feel
and bad.
Every time they do the one with the first letter changed, that's just not
Or
fair.
like colors with the one letter removed. No.
Okay. Got through the dailies. Chat. That was fun. That was a long stream. That was 3 hours for me and Max first stream back after a few weeks there. So I think that's been long enough. Unless chat has anything important they think we haven't talked about or questions they want to ask. You know, she's sitting right here. You guys never get to talk to her.
Let this man sleep.
I am supposed to be resting, and this was way too long. So, I think we are going to call it. I think that was an awesome 3-hour stream there. We got through a lot of fun stuff. I always love playing the games at the end. I'm going to spend the next few days doing more resting. I've got 3 more days on all the medication and everything that I'm supposed to be doing. And starting to study all of the programming stuff that I talked about in the stream last night. For anyone who wasn't here, that studying is about building some systems that will help me do better streams. I think there's some software that can help with that, and I need a project to get my skills back after all this long COVID and brain fog and everything else. As for my favorite color, it is the only favorite color. It is orange. Any other favorite color is wrong. Orange is the best color ever. Period. The end. I have an opinion on that one, and it's very strong. I don't know why it's that strong in me, but it is absolutely the truth. I believe that as strongly as I believe there is no God.
One of those seems a lot better founded than the other. What street did you grow up on?
I can answer all of these truthfully because I never give the correct answers, and anyone who gives the correct answers for those is really dumb. If it asks what your favorite color is, the best thing you can do is already have another color that is not your favorite that you use as your go-to that would never come up. For your pet's name, I like to choose some random pet from a TV show or a movie I used to like that I can just remember and hold on to that isn't my first pet's name. Because my first pet's name is Dixie Belle. That will never be an answer to that question for me. I can say that out loud. That was a boxer dog. And again, it just shows how from the South I actually am. Indeed. But yeah, so again, if you get those security questions and you give the correct answers, that's your fault.
I really miss them letting you write your own question. Those were the good days. What is delicious?
Yeah.
What number am I thinking of? The answer is never a number.
Right. Whew.
Okay.
All right. It is time to end chat. I am being told it's over. I got to rest. You can expect me back sometime before next Thursday. I'm thinking Monday-ish, Tuesday-ish, midday one, where I start doing some of the programming related stuff and showing kind of my new dev environment, the stuff I'm going to be doing. But otherwise, this kind of a whole thing with all of us is going to be next Thursday again. So good night, chat. Good night, everyone. And off we go.